Georgie is singing. Hey Georgie.
Hello.
Why do you call yourself Georgie?
That's a social media name.
That's a social media name?
Yeah.
It's not your name?
Tough. No, it's not mine. It was tough getting Twitter actually to accept Georgie Ndirangu.
Georgie Ndirangu?
Georgie
Ndirangu?
Yeah, before they verified. It was tough. It was applying, reapplying, imagine. Yeah. Anyway.
Now, other than that, tell us, who is Georgie Ndirangu?
So by the time this interview airs, I'll still be a 29-year-old George, Kenyan, but I'm a citizen of, I'm an African, but a citizen of the world. Presenter, producer, CNBC Africa, a fan of travel, fan of fashion, fan of everything tech and business.
Right, now coming back to that one. I did a small research on you, even though I know him for a while. From being a student in actuarial science to being the founder of Today Fashion. Today for Fashion.
Yeah.
How did that happen?
I think that was before, it started before I went to university. Immediately after high school, there was an idea to, some friends of mine, actually the idea came way before, because some friends of mine usually always wanted to dress up a certain way, and we wanted to be the trendiest in Nairobi. We wanted to have the stuff before the shoes, before the shirts most of the time. So it started off with trying to get the stuff from outside, importing them and then selling them to our friends, and that's where Afshan came in as well, because he had the connect. And then with time now it's became, okay, let's try and do shoots and then models, and then most of my friends were celebrities at the time in Nairobi till now, but it was easier having them come, and then we try and do a showcase or an idea, and that's how Tadaifu was born. So now with time, when people saw in Nairobi the demand, the supply of photographers, models, creative directors, it wasn't there, not like now. So when we started that thing, we were among one of two, us and another modeling agency called Strategy that used to have creative ideas. So it picked up so quickly in Nairobi, and I think the rest is history. So the pages are still there now, but they're not as functional as they were, of course, because I came here. But the idea is still so fresh in so many people's minds. You can tell back and forth almost every day on social media. They're always asking where Tadaifu is.
Yeah, kind of saw some videos where he was still shying away from the camera. But anyways, tell us about your journey from being the founder of Today Fashion Today for Fashion to CNBC presenter and producer. We want to know, because there's so many who want to know how you came from Kenya to being a fashion guru or whatnot into being a TV business presenter and producer. So
at the time, right before I came to Rwanda, I was working at the Ministry of Housing in the accounting department, and I had just cleared my studies, actuarial science. I'd completed 4 years, and I was trying to transition to see whether I'll pursue my studies, do an MBA, or do my professional papers in actuarial science. So coincidentally, right at the time when my contract ended, I was working with Housing Finance, then the Ministry. Afshan texted me. Afshan one is now running
delivery.
Company in Zambia, Afro Delivery. So he told me there was a logistics opening in Rwanda, and if I wanted, I would come, and this were the terms, and this is what I would expect in terms of what. And he told me to just come and see it. So I had never been to Rwanda, and I'd actually never been to this side, like close to East, Central Africa or anything like that. So I asked my dad about what he thought about it, and he said he'd been to Burundi. He had stayed in Burundi and worked in Burundi for a while, so he knew only about Rwanda based off of the history. So I made the trip, and a few months later, I came to realize that what I was promised was not what was delivered, and even Afshan himself didn't know that it would turn out like that. So one thing led to another, and then of course there was the issue on the closure of the entity that we had come to do. It was called, I don't know, was it something 10? It was about events and stuff. So that one closed down, and then by the time it closed, we had already developed a very strong relationship with Cedric, who was the managing director at the time. So he absorbed us into radio and said that he would give us a chance just based off of the fact that we knew English and we had some ideas that could take on media. So Radio 10 started. We got training on the job, and I remember there was a lady called Genevieve who I used to follow into the studio every time. She used to do French news on radio, and I used to follow her just to get a sense of how to raise my voice, the tonation of voice, how to do breaks, how to read the news. It always fascinated me so much. And then now with that, I was given a chance to do 5 minutes now with Fiona Bawazi. She had left RBA at the time to come and to be part of the radio because a TV was coming up.
Right.
So she also trained me a lot, and she taught me a few things here and there that were very crucial even to what I'm doing now. And then so that was the first private radio in Rwanda. Then the radio got some amount of money, and Tele10 as a company now said they're going to set up a TV, and it was cheaper for them to hire people who were already in radio. So myself, Fiona, and Eugene Anangwe, now at RBA, we were the first to be called for the audition casting. So we went, and the three of us were seated on a panel, and we did the interview, and we were asked questions, and we were answering immediately, like not even like you two leave, come in when he's done. Nah, all of us. So immediately it was done. The three of us got the job, and then yeah, we started. So I think 1.5 years later, July 2014, CNBC Africa was looking for someone to fill a slot that was that had been taken by a guy called David Kezio. Then he got a slight injury twice, so he couldn't continue. And then yeah, by God's grace, I got the job, and I quit almost immediately. I resigned on Friday. I started CNBC on Wednesday.
How did that
The
feel?
following week. Oh my word! It's the best job I've ever had in my life, and I've seen like some good amount of money in Kenya, and a lot of open doors, and a lot of people, and fantastic conversation. But CNBC has been easily the best job I've ever had.
Nice. Did you always know you wanted to be a TV presenter?
No, I wanted to be a doctor when I was in primary school, and first and second year of high school. Third year after so we normally have this thing, I think it's in most universities all across Africa, all the world. In third year, if your course is 4 years, you start to review options for university.
Right.
So when we were reviewing, the teacher said, among the options, given the grades that we had gotten, we could do actuarial science, be a doctor, be a pilot, or whatever. Then they said, don't take actuarial science because most people fail, or it's a hard subject. I was like,
Challenge accepted.
Challenge accepted. That's definitely the one. So I went with actuarial science. But I remember even after finishing school, I went with my mom for the test to be a pilot, and I passed everything. I've told this story a million times. I passed everything until the last step. And on the last one, man, they told me I couldn't get in because I had I think it was a high B plus, but the point was I failed with 1 point to become a pilot, and I really wanted to be a pilot. I remember I left the audition room, the place where they were doing that, and it was all my friends like from high school and primary school growing up. I left all of them. I was so stressed. I was like, I wish I had forged these results. I wish I had done something else. I wish I had, and it was like physics. It was -1 point in physics. And then, yeah, I got out, I cried in the car, my mom was still waiting for me. We had been there since 5 in the morning, so I went in, I'd been there 3 hours. I got out 8:30. She was still waiting for me. I thought she had left already. I cried. That was the lowest point in my life. And then I said, you know what? It's okay. If I can't fly a plane, I will own one, inshallah. Yeah. So I definitely didn't know I would do media, let alone CNBC.
Interesting. The boy with so many dreams, huh? Now, what would you say has been the most challenging thing in your life or your journey to where you are right now, and how did you overcome the challenge?
My biggest challenge has been growing into myself. So growing up or with time or most of the people that you get to meet, I think also because it wasn't the traditional stuff where you go to school, finish school, get an internship, finish internship. Or I was so curious about entrepreneurship. I was curious about what happens in other countries, what happens where. So it wasn't the legacy little boy in Africa just growing up. So I always wanted to associate myself with so much, and I lost myself so many times. I either followed the crowd or tried to be ahead of the crowd. I always tried to be 5 steps ahead of everyone my age. So I found myself drawn so much into what was happening or what was about to happen. And then I was so concerned about feedback that I got from people. That was like maybe 6-7 years ago. So over the last 4 years, and CNBC has been a crucial part of it, over the last three years, I've found a way to give myself the feedback, give myself the appreciation. So that's why even on social media or Twitter, Instagram, mostly where I use, I always preach a message of love and self-love, and just not just minding your own business and trying to understand what works best for you without damaging maybe someone else's path, or just trying to work with a collective goal in mind. So I realize happiness is internal, and there's absolutely no way I would ever find that kind of happiness, either in someone or something apart from dogs. But yeah, so that has been a journey, trying to find myself and be content with the person that I am or the person I would eventually grow into.
Interesting. Now, what inspires you most every time you wake up in the morning?
First of all, waking up in itself is enough motivation, because I mean, you're lucky. A lot of people they don't even get to see another day. But I always set, so I have applications and reminders, so I always set targets. So for me, my life is driven by achieving those targets. So if I don't get them, I don't speak to you, I don't speak to no one, I have no intention of even hanging out or whatever until I meet those targets. If I meet them, I can do whatever. But until then, I sacrifice so much money, friends, people, time to meet them. So that's what drives me. I feel like I'm indebted, and I'm always curious about what's the next challenge going to be. So I try to keep myself on my toes as much as possible. Also, I realize maybe now, like since I'm developing into being a more prominent business journalist in Africa, a lot of people maybe look towards some stuff I say or some things I say on air, and you can't have either the same message or you can't be up to date on business. You have to be abreast on your career or on your profession. So that's what keeps me motivated, to learn more, to research a lot more, and to be at least to guide even the people who are a bit junior at work to, just grow into a lot more formidable journalists. Yeah.
Now, you have quite different sense of style. Could you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, my style is very eclectic. I like to feel very comfortable, but I realize I feel good when I look good. So I would never want to be in a position where I don't look good because I would not feel good. So I try to, whatever I do, whether it's casual, semi-casual, it has to be comfortable, and it has to be fitting, and it has to at least portray some essence of style that no one else, could easily do it. Or someone thinks, oh damn it, I would have thought of that.
Right.
but I didn't think of it, you know. So yeah, so my style is very eclectic depending on the event or the time of day.
What does George Ndirangu likes to do when he's off air?
I love listening to music. I love laughing so much. I like movies. I'm a fan of movies with different scripts, not just the usual ha 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 oh ha ha. No, movies with different scripts. And I'm a fan of interior decor. I love like piecing things together. If I was told, okay, we have the opportunity to just do one thing for the rest of your life, I would want to do interior decor that impacts lives somehow, some way. I don't know. But that's it. I love interior decor so much, and music, dance, laughing, movies, and thoughts.
Who is George with the camera off?
George
I know
is
it's kind of the same, but we want to know, apart from what we see on. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's Georgie Ndirangu.
Actually,
CNBC.
it's pretty easy. When the camera is on, the George you see on Twitter. When the camera is off, the George you see on Instagram.
Easy way to describe
Easy way
it.
to describe it. Yeah.
Now, what are George's hobbies? I don't know why I'm referring to the third person, but
Yeah. Sports. Weirdly, a lot of sports. That a lot of people always doubt. Weirdly. Okay. I don't think I can sing like professionally, but I think I can sing. Swimming, dancing, athletics, volleyball, basketball, football, table tennis, lawn tennis, bowling, reigning bowling champ, pool, darts, badminton. Yeah, I think that's about it. Yeah, that's it. Those are my hobbies. And competing in like games, video games. I'm still a little boy. So yeah, that's basically my hobbies. And just art in general. Arts, sightseeing, arts, traveling. Those are my hobbies. Dressing up. Oh my word, dressing up.
speaking of traveling, what is your favorite place in Rwanda? You've been here for what?
Yeah.
Almost 5 years?
Yeah.
6 years? What is that one place that you go to every single time you get an opportunity?
I would like to say Nyungwe, but that's biased because we were in a hotel. There was nice 4G internet, but the air was so good and we got to run around. Chibuye was nice. No, yeah, but not like the. I've never been to the Canopy Walk. Musanze, the
Caves.
not the caves, the trekking, the climbing.
Gorilla.
Yeah, gorilla, yeah.
Gorilla.
Well, the mountain climbing was the best part. Yeah, cause we were complaining the whole time. Why did we do this? Yeah, but mountain climbing, the air was great. It was nice seeing people complain, but still moving on. I loved it.
What is the one sentence you could say right in Kinyarwanda?
I want to sleep. Yeah.
What is next for Georgie Ndirangu other than CNBC? Where do you see yourself?
Right. So I'm entering a new stage in life, Dirty 30, a new decade. So at this stage, I want to be self-sufficient financially. So at the time, I have some investments here and there, but I still find myself thinking, how far is the end of the month, you know? And I want to reach a point where I don't think about that at all. I've reduced thinking about it, like when is my next salary coming? But I need to do a lot more. And I think this is going to be that's the future. Investment, and I also want to set up a foundation that can help impact. So my goal in life is to impact 1 billion lives. However soon, however late, whatever. But that's my goal, and I think I want to start working towards that pretty soon.
What is the advice you would tell everyone who would want to achieve their goals or their dreams?
Yeah. Just make sure you're doing it for all the right reasons. that has been the downfall of so many people. You try something because you're trying to either outdo someone or compete with someone, or just trying to catch up with people just because you see like maybe your age mates are moving and you're stuck behind, or you're stuck in a certain group and everyone keeps trying to do something and you feel like you're not up to par or you don't look a certain way or what. Just be very comfortable in your own skin, in yourself, and do things for the right reason. That's my number one piece of advice. Number two, always try to, if let's say you're in journalism, you have to put in the time. I mean, nothing will come to you. Nothing. Oh my gosh, nothing. You have to either research. If you're in journalism and someone asks you, "Yo, did you hear what Trump said?" You're like, "Well, what did he say?" Then you have no business being comfortable. You have to be knowledgeable of anything journalism related. If you say you're a journalist, if you say you're an engineer, you have to know everything about it or strive towards knowing that. So I would say put in the time. The universe gravitates towards you when you've put in the time, and then trust the process. And always remain very grateful, very humble. Never forget where you came from, because every time you go up, you will come down if the universe decides. So you have to always remember that everything could go and you could start from zero. So you have to always never forget